We actually have a decent amount of injury news here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we'll be diving into the last minute updates tomorrow, but just to give you an idea of what we are looking at right now. Yeah, I already see a message in the chat. Seeing Cooper on the thumbnail is a sign to start him. I don't know about that. We will get there in 1 second, my friend. But real quick, if we are going to be looking at the quarterback in New England, will be Bailey Zappi. Still bench everybody not named Ramondre Stevenson. Has no impact. Goes from bad to maybe even worse quarterback play. Breece Hall will be playing. Kareem Hunt will be playing. Dalton Schultz listed as out. This means we're going to bump up Nico Collins and Tank Dell just a smidge more. Going down, looking at Noah Brown, he is going to be listed as questionable. So if no Noah Brown, then obviously Tank Dell and Nico Collins are that much more appealing. Then T. Higgins gets into full practice on Friday. So it looks like T. Higgins probably going to play, right? I mean, even if he does, I'm still not super excited to start him. And there's a chance that he misses because obviously this team's playing for nothing. But if you have no T. Higgins, I still think you probably have to go through and play Jamar Chase. Now, you actually have Joe Flacco to start at quarterback for the Browns in week 13. On top of this, you have Amari Cooper good to go in Cleveland. So I know that some people will be looking at Amari Cooper. I already saw Ivan in the chat saying that he's going with Amari. I can't do it. I'm not interested in Amari this week. I still think this should be one of the worst offenses in the NFL. If we're going to go ahead and look at the implied team totals, I mean, right now you are sitting with the Cleveland Browns with an implied team total. And of course, Las Vegas sportsbooks know more than we do. At about 18.5 points. The only teams less than this are Atlanta, Arizona, New England, the Jets, the Panthers, and the Bengals. So I am not excited about Amari. David Njoku is coming on pretty strong, though. I think you can start Njoku in this offense. I mean, if you're going to look at what you have with the underdog pick'ems right now, they have Amari at 48.5 receiving yards, which is like right in line as like a wide receiver 3, but they have David Njoku as kind of a tight end 1 there at 44.5 receiving yards. Now, Jerry Jeudy is going to be good to go week 13. You're not starting Jerry Jeudy. Nothing changes. Travis Etienne gets in another practice. I'm still ranking Travis Etienne as a top 3 running back. Still a must-start option. Hollywood Brown is going to be questionable for this week. I'm operating under the assumption that Hollywood plays, but we will keep you posted on that. You have no Shaheed. Michael Thomas gets in a full practice, but he's not clear just yet. So we will update you tomorrow on Chris Olave. I apologize if we said Michael Thomas. Thomas on the IR, obviously. Chris Olave. So we will see. Trey McBride's going to be good to go week 13. And we actually have Zach Ertz getting cut from the Cardinals. So fire up Trey McBride. Really, the only thing that you're going to be doing here is, I guess, bumping down Dallas Goedert just a tiny bit if Zach Ertz ends up signing in Philadelphia. Kadarius Toney, not listed on the injury report week 13. Should be good to go. Maybe you move Rashee Rice down just a smidge. Probably not too impactful. You have no Aaron Jones this week either. So I know, I mean, earlier in the season, I would have gone through and played A.J. Dillon. I've learned my lesson. We are not playing A.J. Dillon even with no Aaron Jones. Nobody in Green Bay is super exciting. Tank Dell is going to be good to go week 13. Start Tank Dell. Treylon Burks still in concussion protocol, but ultimately, even with no Treylon Burks, you have seen the usage just go down for DeAndre Hopkins. Godwin's going to be a game time decision. Devon Achane is good to go. I am starting Devon Achane, even though I am an idiot, and I started him when he got hurt this past week, but I don't know. I'm just going to kind of double down here and say you have an offense that's supposed to score about 30 points according to Vegas Sportsbooks. Supposed to be the best offense in the NFL this week. So I will be interested in going through and playing Achane. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about more injury updates as we get them tomorrow. Hopefully we get some more news regarding Chris Olave. So if somehow you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you wanted to go through and look at Nico Collins for more than 56.5 receiving yards, having no Dalton Schultz, and at the same time a questionable Noah Brown, you can find that on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code FLOCK will give you a 100% deposit match, plus our rest of season fantasy football rankings and tiers And promo code FLOCK is also going to get you a Patrick Mahomes special pick'em more than less than half a total yards. So make sure you take advantage of that with the link in the comment section description. Live check, find it anywhere. But Michael coming out saying 7-5 PPR win and I'm in the playoffs. Good luck, my friend. We're starting Hurts, CMC, Henry, Debo, Smith, Taysom. Do we put Kupp or Achane in for the flex? So it's a full BBR format. Typically, we're going to go with the receiver there. If it is close, we can use that as a tiebreaker. Obviously, both players have very low floors. I'm probably going to go with Devon Achane for the ceiling. But let me know if anybody else in the chat has any questions. I'm sorry, any opinions on this. Please spam the chat right now. Who would you start, Devon Achane or Amari Cooper? I'm probably going ahead. I'm playing Achane with how good the matchup is. I'm sorry, Devon Achane or Cooper Kupp. And I do not see anybody having a strong opinion here in the chat yet. We got 1 vote for Achane, 2 votes for Achane, 3 votes for Achane. If you include my vote, like I said, we are going Achane. So we got 4 votes for Achane, and I don't see anybody going with Kupp. So I guess you go Devon Achane there, my friend. Obviously, risk with both guys. Blake says, full BBR running backs are Pacheco, Javonte, JT, Charbonnet. Should we trade JT for Jerome Ford? Playoff spot is locked in already. If you're already locked into the playoff spot, I think that Jonathan Taylor is more long-term upside than Jerome Ford. Obviously, it is frustrating to have the injury to Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, if you're locked into your playoff spot, I'm going to go JT and hope that he's back in 2 weeks. Tommy says we're lost. Which 2 running backs do we start between Kamara, Hall, Warren, Jerome Ford? So Jerome Ford is expanding his role and looks like Kareem Hunt is going to be used less in this offense than he was earlier in the season. But with that being said, Jerome Ford's still in one of the worst offenses in the NFL, and he's just not nearly as talented as what you have with someone like Breece Hall. And Jaylen Warren, great matchup, right? I mean, obviously, you are very excited about going up against the Arizona Cardinals, especially when this team just looks a little bit better as is. Like right now, Vegas is telling us that the Steelers are actually projected to be slightly ahead of the Eagles offense this week in points scored. But since you're still splitting 50-50 with Najee Harris, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Kamara and Hall. And then do we flex one of the running backs instead of McLaurin or Rashee Rice? If it is a full BBR format, I'm probably going to go ahead and take Rashee Rice. If you really wanted to go with one of the running backs over Rashee Rice, you are more than welcome to. I'm just excited about Rashee Rice with him going out there and playing the most snaps at wide receiver for the Chiefs this past week. More snaps than he has all year. Now, Ray says, we have Lamb, DK, Charbonnet in last night. Great start. Question from me, my fiance. Full BBR, pick 2 receivers, a tight end, 2 flex spots. Kupp, Puka, Deontay Dotson, Sam Laporta, I believe that's Sam Laporta, and David Njoku. So we're going to go Sam Laporta over David Njoku for sure, even though Njoku looks pretty strong. We're going to be going with the Rams wide receivers for the wide receiver slots. We'll go with Deontay for one of the flexes. It really comes down to, are we going to go Jahan Dotson or David Njoku? Well, I would love to come out here and while I would love to say, oh, okay, we always go wide receivers. I don't know. It's tough, right? I mean, Curtis Samuel's had the volume over John Dotson as of late. David Njoku 2 weeks ago had 15 targets. This past week, he had 9. Let's look at what they have on Underdog. Dude, I know we already saw that they have the pick'em for David Njoku at 44.5 receiving yards, right? Let me just double check. Yeah, they have Njoku 44.5 receiving yards, a 2x multiplier to score a touchdown. And do they have a pick'em on Jahan Dotson just to help us break a tie here when I don't know what to do? They currently have Jahan Dotson at 34.5 receiving yards. So, I mean, yeah, they have David Njoku ahead of Jahan Dotson, which if you look at the target volume as of late, probably what you have to do, you probably have to bench Dotson there, even though it sounds crazy to play the tight end in the horrible offense. Isaiah says, running backs are Robinson and Moss. If McKinnon is cleared, should we start Pacheco at the flex or go along the lines of Singletary? So, I mean, if McKinnon's good to go, I definitely agree that we do need to be moving Isaiah Pacheco down just a bit. I probably still will go Isaiah Pacheco over Devin Singletary. If you really wanted to go Singletary, you can, though. Obviously, it's a great matchup going up against Denver. He's in a great offense. Right now, if you're looking at the implied team totals, Vegas is telling us that Houston should actually outscore KC. They have them pretty close, but still. just to put that into perspective. So, I mean, it is, it is close, my man. If that RB1 is Brian Robinson, I'd say you bench Brian Robinson, play Moss, Pacheco, and Singletary. If that's Bijan Robinson, then for the flex, I probably go Pacheco. But honestly, if I have more time to think about it, I may flip-flop on that. But Joel says, Goddard or Schultz rest of season? We need a replacement for week 13. So if you're looking at a waiver wire option to pick up this week, Tyler Conklin could be like a super deep option you look at off the waiver wire. Cade Otton, if Cade Otton's somehow sitting out there. I know some people were looking at Juwan Johnson. Obviously, Higbee looked decent last week. It's hard to trust them it's hard to trust them, though, based off the large sample that we have. And then between Goddard, Schultz, rest of season, with Schultz already being ruled out, not super excited to go through and say that this is someone that we should be expecting to be back quickly. So I'm probably actually going to go ahead and take Dallas Goedert. My only hesitation with this is if Zach Ertz ends up actually going over to Philadelphia, then obviously it's a spot where we made a mistake taking Goddard. Eddie says, hey, Mason, 8-4 in second place in a standard league. We have Amon-Ra, Downs, Amari, Kupp, Noah. We got to pick 3. We're going to go with Amon-Ra for damn sure. I'm assuming that's Noah Brown. So we're going to go Amon-Ra, Kupp, and Josh Downs. I'm going to go Josh Downs over Amari Cooper. Amari not fully healthy. We've seen him play through injuries and be at a lower efficiency overall throughout his entire NFL career. Like, that's the story of Amari Cooper. He will play through an injury. And a horrible offense, I'm not too interested. We're going to go Amon-Ra, Downs, Kupp. Running back, we're going to be going with Swift, Achane. Tight end, we're going to go Laporta. And should we drop anyone for more running backs or receivers? I mean, I think that you drop Dearness Johnson as soon as Travis Etienne is listed as good to go. But outside of that, I mean, really, everybody else here is fine on the roster. Dalton Schultz is maybe a little bit borderline there, just considering the fact that you're never going to start him with Sam Laporta anyway, and he's banged up. Now, the Squint says 12-team full BBR for the flex. Bijan, Kyron, White, Gibbs. Olave, Devonta, Dell. Need a win to make the playoffs. Fellow marathoner here. Good luck with the training. Thank you, my friend. And yeah, I don't know if y'all saw, we actually ran a marathon today. I had an intense leg workout yesterday. I wasn't planning on doing a marathon, but the weather was literally perfect in Austin, Texas, and we don't get many pretty days come December, so I felt like we had to take advantage. But I'm training for an Ironman. I'm signed up for an Ironman in Nice, France in June, which I'm excited about. But nonetheless, thank you so much for stopping by, my friend. We are going to be going with oh my gosh, this is a phenomenal team. Bijan, White, and then between Gibbs, Kyron, we have them ranked legitimately back-to-back. I think most people would tell you to go ahead and take Kyron Williams. I kind of want Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm telling you right now, we're flexing one of these running backs, right? So start Bijan White as our top 2. And then between Kyron, Gibbs, I think the underdog pick'ems have Kyron ahead of Gibbs as well. Maybe you do end up just going Kyron. It's a tough matchup on paper against Cleveland, but if you're looking at implied team totals, right now Vegas is telling us that the Rams are supposed to score 22 points. They're supposed to be an above-average offense this week. And then Olave, Devontae, or Dell. We're going to go Dell, numero uno option. If Olave plays, we'll go Olave. If not, we're going to go Devontae. But we're not going to play a wide receiver in the flex. We're definitely going to go with the running back. We have phenomenal running backs there. Now, GoPro Dude says PBR Waddle or Kupp for the playoffs. So yeah, Kupp definitely has the better schedule, right? And we did cover that, I believe, in the video 2 weeks ago. I think Kupp gives you a higher ceiling. Waddle gives you a higher floor. So if this was going to be for your like wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 slot, and you weren't comfortable with what you had elsewhere, I would probably just say play it safe with Jalen Waddle because we're pretty confident that that's someone that we can start. By the time we get to the playoffs, Kupp may not be startable. They may shut Kupp down entirely. But if this is someone that's like the best option on your bench, right, where we're more so looking for an upside play, then you can go ahead. Then you can potentially take that shot on Cooper Kupp. Alex says, start 3 PPR, Ayuk, Olave, Kupp, Hopkins, and Amari. We're going to go Ayuk, Olave, Kupp if Olave plays. We're going to go Ayuk, Kupp, Hopkins if you have no Chris Olave. Brian says, should we trust Tua for the playoffs or go to the waiver wire? I mean, obviously, Tua does have a very tough matchup for the fantasy football, a schedule for the fantasy football playoffs. I'm still going to trust Tua over options off the waiver wire, but if he face plants, say, that first week, I believe going up against the Jets in the playoffs, then maybe we can see what options are on waivers. Definitely don't cut Tua or anything. Let's see what happens over the next few weeks. Ryan says, start 1, Garrett Wilson, Curtis Samuel, or Jahan Dotson. So obviously, Garrett Wilson's in one of the worst offenses in the NFL right now. If you're looking at his implied team total, right now they're at 15.75 points. This is only ahead of Carolina and Cincinnati. But with that being said, you still have the guaranteed target volume. So I will go with Garrett Wilson. And then Pirine or Hunt this week, desperate at running back. Obviously, very tough spot. Pirine does have a good matchup or a good game environment on paper where this is supposed to be a very high scoring game between the Texans and Broncos. I probably am going to go ahead. I probably am going to take Kareem Hunt and send up a prayer that he has a touchdown. I don't know. Caleb says, Deontay Godwin. We are going to go with Deontay over Godwin now that Godwin's neck injury looks serious enough where he may miss. And then Pacheco or David Montgomery. We're for sure going to go with David Montgomery there, my friend. Hunter says, hey, Mason, in the flex, Rice or Singletary, full PPR. So I am very excited about Rashee Rice. Obviously played a considerable amount of snaps this past week. But I do think you probably have to go ahead. You probably have to take the running back that has the 3-down workload now, playing in one of the best offenses in the NFL. I think it's a much safer call to just go with Devin Singletary. But we have a massive donation coming out from Nick. Thank you so much, my man says. Lost Andrews and JT for the next few weeks, but I managed to snag a last-minute trade for Laporta. Got me optimistic for a playoff run. Big up the vlog. Appreciate you so damn much. Good luck, and I will say the Andrews loss, obviously very frustrating. Maybe I am a little bit delusional here because Jonathan Taylor was my most drafted running back. But I am still hoping that Jonathan Taylor is going to go for the fantasy football playoffs. Like I said, I very much could be delusional. But I think there's a shot that Jonathan Taylor is going to go, assuming your playoffs are starting in week 15. Because if he misses 2 weeks, 13, 14, we're back 15. Hopefully, my friend. But Bruce Gaming says, PPR, we need to win. Start Stafford or Gardner, and then Kupp or Pickens. I'm going to go Kupp over Pickens. I think both players have low floors. I think Kupp has a slightly higher ceiling. If you look at the underdog pick'ems, they tell you to go Kupp over Pickens as well. You have the Colts with an implied team total of 21.75 points, which is a little bit, pretty much identical to the Rams. They're 22. I'm probably actually going to go ahead and take Minshew, though. Neither quarterback's going to run the ball. I just do think that going up against the Tennessee Titans defense, typically you're not really running it, right? You are going through and you are trying to air it out. Momo says PBR start 2 flex. Dell, Ayuk, Swift, Hall. We're stuck. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Dell for damn sure with the injuries that we have in Houston. Between Ayuk, Swift, and Breece Hall, I think it is a little bit of a tougher spot, right? Because you do have that very tough matchup for DeAndre Swift going up against the Niners. If you're looking at my flex rankings this week, I have Ayuk at 18, Swift at 19, Hall at 20. So I literally have them all back to back to back. So I do think it's a very tough spot. And honestly, I could flip-flop back and forth. But if it is a full PPR format, let's go with the receiver and let's go with Ayuk. But I think that should be it for this live stream. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us. Of course, we will be live tomorrow with some more injury updates. Hopefully, we know what's going on with Chris Olave by then. But if you have not done so already, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you play fantasy football. And if you wanted to say, Mason, these underdog pick'ems are crazy. Of course, Pickens can have more than 43.5 receiving yards Of course, Pat Frymuth can have more than 32.5 receiving yards. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you are saying that in this hypothetical situation. You can find that link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat description comment section. Promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match, plus our rest of season fantasy football rankings and tiers, and that Patrick Mahomes special pick on more than less than half a total yard. So make sure, take advantage of that with promo code FLOCK, link in the description. But thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you. Really hope you have a great Friday night, and really hope we get to see you out with the live stream late tomorrow night. And actually, real quick, one last question. Greg says, I'm in a bind. Most starters on bye. Luckily, it's Charbonnet and Metcalf. Beautiful. Do I play Hunt or pick up Dearness Johnson to play at RB2? If Travis Etienne's good to go, we're going to go ahead. We're going to play Kareem Hunt. I'm not going to waste the spot with Dearness Johnson. Obviously, if Etienne misses, which I'm not expecting him to, I think Etienne plays, then we'd go Dearness Johnson. But thank you again, everybody. Really do appreciate y'all, and really hope we get to see you out tomorrow.